Hello, Nick Westergaard here with Brand Driven Digital, joined today by Amy Schmittauer of Vlogboss Studios and the blog Savvy, Sexy, Social. I got all of those right.
Yes, you did.
I did, at savvysexysocial.com. And Amy is also joining us at this fall's Social Brand Forum here in Iowa. We couldn't be more excited to talk with her today a bit about what she's going to be talking about, which is YouTube marketing. Show off your brand personality in HD.
Yes.
Amy,
God, I still love that title even after I came up with it.
that
Fantastic.
I know, because I'm recalling our kind of back and forth, and I said, oh, do you have a title? And you sent that. I'm like, wow, that's... sometimes you get a title, you have to finesse it a little bit. You have to say...
Right, and I was playing with it for a little while, but when you asked me, I was like, oh man, it's due already? Okay, this is what I've got. Is this even close to what you want? And you were like, yes. And I was like, perfect. We're on the same page.
I was going to say, because, who doesn't want to show their brand personality in HD?
Exactly. It's fantastic.
So for those that don't know you, beyond, my quick kind of Twitter bio that I just mentioned, tell the folks a bit about your own background, who you are, what you do.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a coach, consultant, speaker specializing in video content marketing. I jumped into the social media marketing space about 5 years ago, kind of did my freelance dirty work and learned that I'm the best that I am at video, and that's where I really wanted to be. So I kind of got out of this whole social media consulting space, even though it's definitely a big compliment. I knew that the real thing that people wanted to know was how to share value with their audience, because that's where social really starts to pay you back. So video being something that has always been second nature for me. I've been sharing stories on YouTube since 2008, even before I got into the marketing industry. So I really wanted to make sure that I took that expertise and brought that in with what I knew about marketing to share with clients and people around the world. So that's what I do on Savvy Sexy Social, which is the #1 client driver of my business, Vlogboss Studios. I publish 3 videos a week and a podcast, and that helps people who have a personal brand. Maybe they're a YouTube creator or they're an author or speaker. Start thinking about the things they can do naturally with multimedia content that really pimps out who they are and their awesome personality and just grows their brand thanks to these online platforms. So that's what I do. And at the company, we usually bring people in on a consulting basis, about 3 to 6 months. And then we kind of figure out, what is this strategy going to look like? How much of this can you implement yourself? Is there anything that we need to find other resources for you to do? Because we need it to be feasible for your time and for your budget. But there are some things that you may not necessarily have to do on your own, and it might actually make you be more consistent with your content. So working through all of that. And sometimes we actually have people that stay on with us and maybe they just need a little bit of editing that we can help them with. We're not a video production agency, but that is something that we will do with coaching clients that we've taken on, so we can get the project moving for them and they can eventually take it on in-house or have their own people handle it in the long run after we've kind of gotten the show going. So that's what we do. And the blog has been an amazing marketing platform for me, a really great case study to kind of share with others about how I've been able to build my business with video.
Yeah, I was just thinking, beyond the video piece, like you said, the whole, business development dynamic that you've set up using the blog to drive traffic there.
Yeah.
In thinking about video, I think video is one of those things that everyone, kind of nods along with, and it's a compelling form of content. But there's this huge gap, like you said, in something that you'd have, I hesitate to use the word professionally produced because that could mean all sorts of different things now. Mm-hmm. But, something, say like TV, movie studio quality all the way over here. And then we've got everyone with their, camera pointing and shooting. And I think the in-between is so vast. And, there's small things that you can do to really take that video content from good to great. But what do you see people struggling with most when it comes to video?
I think it's the intensity that is that gap. There are people who are so overwhelmed with the idea of doing video Mostly because it's not because they don't realize they have a full HD video camera on their phone that they can use. It's the fact that they don't know what to do with that footage to make it as prestigious enough, I guess you could say, that they feel their brand should be in representing themselves online. So it's not that there's just this area in between. It's that you can take tips from all of those spectrums and make it into something that is really, really good quality, a great representation of your brand, but still feasible for the scale that you need it to be so you can put yourself out there on video. So I really feel like it's people just grasping the idea of, yeah, you can use your smartphone to record. And there are small things you can do to sort of upgrade it and brand it properly so that it can represent you in the best way possible when you post it online and say, this is from our company and this is something we want to share with you. So I just think it's people connecting the dots between those two big differences. And a lot of it is that people have this misconception that they should be movie studio quality. Yeah. And maybe you do hire a video production company to do like your landing page, welcome, or like your Kickstarter video if you're really trying to get people to give to a certain cause. Those are very important videos to make and have done very precisely. But when it comes to content marketing and just sharing value on a consistent basis with your audience through video, you don't need movie studio quality. You don't need a green screen. You don't need to have a pressed suit. That's probably the most unrelatable way as possible to reach your audience, depending on who they are. So just realizing that there's a lot of room in between to grow and that it's totally within reach no matter what. There's so many free resources all over the place. It's just about connecting the dots, having the structure and the content plan that you need in order for this whole thing to make sense, because it ultimately just ends up being more of a time expense than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's time all over the ledger, because it's especially that time when, you kind of get excited about, we're going to do video. And then it's like,
yeah,
what will that look like? You talked a lot about, and it's even in your great title, talking about the importance of your brand. And I think that that's a hurdle too, because we value brands, and, it's in the name of our business and in the name of the Social Brand Forum. And a hurdle is exactly what you said of, this has to, I want to connect, I want to, create some compelling video content, but I also want something that isn't a disservice to the brand that we've built too. And
right.
I think that, we get kind of embarrassed by, that's just from my phone. That can't possibly be something that would be of the quality that we're aiming for here.
Absolutely. But if you think about it, I mean, when you look at all the different options that we have, it's not just YouTube and Vimeo or wherever you think about uploading a video these days. There's Instagram and Vine, which basically require you to use your phone. At least they did in the beginning. They've changed a little bit since. But there were huge brands fully taking advantage of that. They don't question the prestige. They just know how their voice is. They've got that formulated. They understand that. They know the territory of topics that they are willing to be a part of, the conversations they want to join, and they created the best value that they could with the resources they had for those platforms. So now we've changed a little bit, and Vine and Instagram are a little bit more friendly with additional content from other, files, not just things that you make on your phone. But even the most prestigious brands did not question using a smartphone to create this stuff for their social presence. So it's very important that you do think about that. And I do encourage people that say like, oh, we can't do that. That'll make us look so stupid after we've done all this to position ourselves. That's great that you're thinking that way, because you probably have a better head on your shoulders than a lot of other brands about how you need to sound, what your voice is, what your online personality is for your company online. You just need to keep that in mind when you're planning. It doesn't change the resources at hand. It just changes how you deliver that message.
Absolutely. So what else can the good people from Iowa and beyond that will be here at the Social Brand Forum expect from your talk?
Well, I'm really funny, so let's start there.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that funny, actually. I think the most important thing that I'm going to be talking about is just how easily you can start incorporating video into your content strategy. Now, keywords, they're content strategy. I really want you to press the record button and publish, and that's really important. But we need to know why we're doing everything. And talking a lot about content structure, this is something that I've been preaching since probably for the last 2 years. When I started making video on Savvy Sexy Social, I was like, oh, I'll do a daily video. And I was like, oh my God, you can't do a daily video. That's ridiculous. And so then it was sort of like I did it whenever I could. And after about 100 videos, I was in it for 2 years. And I was like, oh, well, that's about a video a week. But I knew it wasn't that consistent. And I knew I had to come up with my structure, because even though we can create a calendar and say, okay, Monday and Thursday sound good, those are still 2 blank slates that you have to look at. And that's what, like eight slots per month that you have to fill. That can still be really overwhelming, even though it's probably a very feasible calendar. You're still sitting down to a blank slate. So the structure is really what changed it for me, because when I said, okay, if I did 3 videos a week, what would that look like? And I just started thinking, I looked at my name, and that helped me come up with my structure. It's going to be different for a lot of people. But once you kind of narrow down the conversation for each episode so that you're not always looking at a completely blank slate, you know what the theme for each day is going to be, or each week is going to be, so you know how to fill in the blanks when you come up with ideas for content. It's going to make it so much easier for you to fill that content calendar and feel like there's a reason to keep doing what you're doing week after week, because it takes a lot of time to build relationships with people online, just like it does in real life. And so that doesn't change for video either. And so you really have to be consistent. YouTube especially, that audience is the most loyal audience you'll ever meet. But it's just like your favorite TV show. You know what time it comes on. You know what day it comes on. If it doesn't come on and they randomly show up on a Sunday at 10 a.m., are you going to really stay consistent with them? Are you going to advocate for them? So your consistency with your structure and your content is hugely important on YouTube, so you can activate this really, really loyal audience that can build to be brand advocates for you. So that's a lot of what we'll be talking about at Social Brand Forum. And I'm so excited, because clearly I could probably talk about it for another 3 hours.
Awesome. We have to save some of it for...
Yeah.
But no, so if you are interested in learning more about how to take your video marketing, YouTube, Vimeo, everything in between, and everything else from good to great, join Amy and a host of other marketing experts at this fall's Social Brand Forum. You can learn more and register at socialbrandforum.com. Amy, thanks for joining us.
Nick, thank you for having me. I'm so excited for the event.